Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I'm meteorologist Caleb Agwandin, also known as GT Storm Chaser Caleb. We are currently monitoring Hurricane Milton, which is a Category 4 hurricane making a beeline towards the west coast of Florida. And here is the radar imagery that of Hurricane Milton. Actually, sorry, it looks like it's down to a Category 3 now. And as of the latest National Hurricane Center advisory, those winds have come down to 130 miles per hour. It is now moving north-northeast at 16 miles per hour with minimum central pressure of 944 millibars. If you look at the exact track here, it looks like it's right on track. The eyes become not as well defined as it was earlier this morning and actually last night when it was a Category 5 hurricane. However, don't let that be deceiving. There's a lot of rain bands that are working their way across central Florida at this time, and intense thunderstorms developing inland where it produced some tornadoes earlier today. In fact, we had some tornadoes touch down in Clewiston, Florida, which is Palm Beach County, just west of Fort Lauderdale, just south of Lake Okeechobee. I'll show you some pictures and footages of that in a little bit. Actually, we could go to that right now. Let's look at that from earlier. All right, so here's video. This is from Twitter of that tornado that was actually in I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, Matlacha, Florida. And I don't know if you can hear the sound of it, but just look at that. We can make it a little bit larger. There we go. Just look at how that kind of was just came by and kind of caused whiteout conditions there. You can't even see visibility, almost zero. That bridge is really rocking and rolling. The power poles, power lines, or the power poles and all that are waving back and forth. So you just see all the wind just overwashing the bridge there. All right, so I'm going to go back to the show you go back here and show you the damage that was caused from that tornado. So you can definitely see the power lines down, the power poles are down. Looks like there's some damage here to a shop or a store there. So it looks like this tornado came in around 12:30 earlier today. So these are all the tornado warnings that are current. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. There's a lot of individual discrete cells out ahead of this hurricane. So click on one of them up here. See what we got going on. This one's issued for Central Polk County in Central Florida until 2:45 p.m. So it was a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Lake Wales, moving northwest at 25 miles per hour. These are some of the locations that are in the crosshairs. Okay, let's look. I did have a picture of one of the tornado couplets here. So, sorry about that. Here's from radar scope. You can see that couplet over Lake Placid. Got the velocity scans here. So this was about 2:10, 20 minutes ago. Um, there's another radar animation, base reflectivity. You can kind of see the center circulation here, the eye coming into view from Tampa Bay uh, radar, National Weather Service radar in Ruskin. You can pretty much see a northeast motion. A lot of rain now spreading across the peninsula here. It's steady since this morning. All right, I have some pictures. If I can find the pictures of the tornado on my Facebook page, I'll post that there for you guys to see. Let me see if I have it here. All right, before I do that, let's look at the satellite imagery here. Refresh this. So this is infrared satellite imagery animation. Uh, not as defined, but what is happening is, if you notice, it's starting to expand, kind of sending out these waves here, gravity waves here. As it weakens and unravels, it's expanding. The general motion here, once again, is off to the north or east northeast to northeast. Should make landfall tonight, probably about 8 o'clock. So it does sped up a little bit there. In fact, now moving north northeast at 16 miles per hour. This is another satellite imagery. This is the water vapor satellite imagery. So we're looking at the upper levels of the atmosphere, and take a look here. This is the drier air mass in the western central Gulf of Mexico, and that's pretty much pushing these higher cirrus clouds off to the east, kind of sharing Hurricane Milton. So that's going to cause it to weaken somewhat, but it should still make landfall as a major hurricane. So some of you are probably wondering what the storm surge is looking like. So I will show you here. Um, these are just some locations on the west coast of Florida that I use called extra tropical storm surge on NOAA's website. So we can just take a look at we'll take a look at Clearwater, St. Petersburg, and Naples. And then I'll show you another one where there are some more gauges. So as of right now, if the Miltons continue to take the track towards Bradenton, Sarasota, in that area, it's going to cause the tide to push out or offshore north of that center, so Tampa Bay coast areas in the Tampa Bay area, and the beaches are going to see offshore winds, and so it looks as though right now we're not really expecting any storm surge if it continues to take the track that is forecasted. Okay, go back. Let's see what it looks like for St. Petersburg, though. So a little bit higher for St. Petersburg, and probably because that's a westward facing beach. So as the winds blow from the southeast there, it's going to go in the direction of St. Petersburg, and so there will be a bit of a storm surge there, even if it does come in south of Tampa Bay. Going down the coast here to Naples, Florida. Now they're south, but they're really well south of the center circulation. Probably going to say about like at least 50, if not further away than 50 miles. But still expecting somewhat of a storm surge there. Look about, and how to measure this is you have the highest astronomical tide, so normal high tide, and then you deduct or subtract from the peak of the storm surge, which looks like it's going to take place just before midnight. If I got that right. No. Yeah, midnight. Looks like about 5.5 feet, and this is about high tide just a little less than 2.5 feet. So we're looking at a little over 3 foot, 3 foot storm surge for Naples. Let's look at the other view here. So these are some other locations. We'll go with Venice. And so right now we're not really seeing anything in terms of the storm surge. Flood stage is at 3 feet. Let's see. That's a little further inland at the Mayaca River. Let's see what theirs are. So same thing there. Not really seeing much there. All right, hurricane hunters are currently investigating. Pressure has risen um, between these three passes. It's gone up from 932 millibars to 937. Now it's at 944 millibars. This is a high resolution model, more of a mesoscale model, but as we get closer in time to landfall, sometimes these models can end up being a lot more accurate, especially closer to the coast or close to making landfall. And so 976 millibars. You can definitely see the strong winds on the backside of this hurricane, and it's like we got some lights flickering off here, so we are getting hit with a heavy rain band, produces some strong gusty winds outside. Pressure right now is down to 998 millibars here in Largo. But I think the center is expected to come on shore. This is 11 p.m. tonight. Um, looks like Manatee County, so like the Sarasota, Bradenton area. There's just some more of the tornado warnings across South and Central Florida. Let's see if I can look at some of those tornado pictures from earlier today. Let's type in, I think it was Clewiston. So you guys can take a look at that. So take a look at this wedge tornado. This is from AccuWeather. Sorry, probably need to see here and all that, but definitely a big wedge tornado. Sorry, there you go. There's some more videos as it's moving over. These are like tornadoes that you would be accustomed to seeing out in the Central Plains in an area called Tornado Alley, where the dynamics, atmospheric dynamics, are more conducive for supercell tornadoes. So pretty interesting seeing wedge tornadoes proceeding ahead of a hurricane. Another view there. More videos. Yeah. Let's take a look at the National Hurricane Center. Okay, so National Hurricane Center. Actually, this one was so this is another hurricane that's out there, but it's not any threat to land. Hurricane Leslie, as of the 11 o'clock advisory, Category 1 hurricane with 80 5 mile per hour winds. Movement is northwest at 10 miles per hour. Expected to recurve out to sea. No threat to land. Let's click on Milton. So appears to be as of right now. We're starting to experience some of the tropical storm force winds along west central and southwest Florida. Look at that tiny core though of hurricane force winds. That's a very small, tiny core. So depending on where it makes landfall, and I believe it's like 30 miles is the diameter of the hurricane force winds. That's where you're going to see the strongest winds. And then the latest forecast code of uncertainty. So should start moving more towards the east northeast. So we'll keep an eye on any wobbles to the right or to the left of this. Uh, let's see what else we have here. Rainfall potential. Once again, looks like at least a foot across Tampa Bay area. A lot of rain along the I-4 corridor extending all the way to Orlando. All right, let's look at the spaghetti plots here. So these are just some of the early cycle model runs. They're pretty much in agreement here. We can zoom in a little bit. So anywhere north of Port Charlotte, so Englewood, all the way up into Bradenton, this area here. So Sarasota and Manatee County. Um, we just had alert go out, flash flood warning issued for Pinellas County. Uh, tornado touchdown in Loretta, Florida. Looks like some damage to Orange Lake Nursery. Awnings and roof looks like some panels fell off there. Here, let's go. Let's do this because I like. So I member of this. This is the Yale Climate Connections. I have the Storm blog, but refresh here because these guys are really good at what they do. Members here sharing these pictures as they are coming in. Let's see. Okay, it's going to keep scrolling. Tornado damage in Fort Myers at Colonial and Orangewood. Multiple roofs gone. Let's do this. Do that. Wow. Pretty insane. Let me rewind it from the beginning. Wow. Yeah, structural damage due to tornadoes. And that's where the majority of the wind damage will come from. Is these quick spin up tornadoes? They can happen anywhere from the coast, inland, anywhere across the peninsula of Florida in the path of this hurricane. That's very scary. Uh, okay, Hurricane Hunter is flying inside the eye of Hurricane Milton. Take a look at this. See that stadium effect. Okay. Let's see what we got. What else we got here? Keep scrolling. More tornado warnings. Go. Oh, there's where it began. Not there. That's where Milton originated from, the Bay of Campeche, southern Gulf of Mexico, and it took more of like that east northeastward turn. Just a very unusual, very rare track. Hey, that's not to be confused. This one here is Leslie, rapidly intensifying again in the middle of the Atlantic. Satellite imagery. This one's Leslie. Wow, that's terrible. FHP troopers rescued a dog left tied to a pole on I-75 near Bruceby Downs Boulevard this morning. Oh, that's really sad. Good there. Oh goodness, people tying down their homes. I'm just scrolling through this blog here. See if any good information here. This really good. All right, so eye wall start to come much more into better view here. This is actually really good. So again, radar scope. You just see all the intense heavy rain bands just rotating up around the circulation of Milton, coming through Tampa Bay area now. So this is what I was talking about earlier. Laredo, Florida, looks like a tropical plant nursery. pretty much got destroyed. All right, so storm search for Clearwater Beach. Let's look at that right now. This is kind of what I've been looking at. So let's go back here. Uh, so because the center is forecasted to make landfall south of Tampa Bay, we're actually not going to have a storm surge for Clearwater Beach. In fact, the water level may go even lower as we get later in the day and then even overnight. We look like we get down to the mean lower low water mark, so a negative storm surge, which would be very good news. Current conditions in Largo, I can tell you exactly right now. Temperature is 72 degrees. Obviously, humidity is pretty much 100% because we are getting steady heavy rain. Winds are somewhat up. Um, the pressure though is down now to 997 millibars. So the pressure continues to drop as the center of circulation gets closer. Okay. Ready. See here. See if I can do it. All right, let me see if I can log in to my radar scope. I don't know if it works on here. It works. Might work. Let's see if it'll let me log in here to my radar scope on the computer. I'll uh, I'll still stay on here. I'm just gonna log into my account here on Radar Scope to see what all these alerts are coming through my phone, so you guys can see what it looks like. Maybe it was this. All right. I don't know if you guys could see that a little bit. Um, yeah, Jason, if you could hear me. So we are still looking at wobbles to the left and to the right. So of course that ultimately, when it comes to the exact landfall location, we're still a few hours away. It looks like as of the latest advisory, go back to the let's go back to the Hurricane Center. Look that up one more time. Oops. All right, let's try that again. I don't know why it keeps doing that. All right. Uh, you know what? Best thing to do here, go to the discussion. Usually at the bottom of the discussions, they will say what it's inland. All right, so I'm gonna say, let's say about 8 o'clock tonight, between 8 and 2 o'clock. Around that time should be the landfall. And if we look at it here, this is I like this because this shows you the radar overlaying the track, or the track overlaying the radar, I should say. And it looks like it's on track there. We could still see a slight deviation north, south, but ultimately it's looking like, yeah, Sarasota. That looks like the landfall spot. So if you can see here, we have flash flood warning. As you noticed, the rain is coming down really hard here. So it says Doppler radar is indicating heavy rain falling between 2.5 to 3.5 inches have already fallen, and an additional 2 to 3 inches is possible. And then these are your towns and city locations that are affected. So if you're at any of those, if you're at any of these locations, right there, um, try to avoid those areas or stay inside, of course, at this point. Let's see here. These are all again the tornado warnings. Like I said, inland is where you're going to find these tornadoes, and this one here. Notice they're moving very quickly off to the north. This one's moving 55 miles per hour, affecting Highlands, Hardy, Polk, and DeSoto counties. Let's see what controls here we could do. We could play around with this a little bit. Let's see if there's any. Let's see some local storm reports here. Okay. All right. So we did see that one. The local storm report: tornado 5 miles east northeast of Pine Island. Law enforcement took that picture earlier. If you were tuning in, I'll show you that picture of that tornado in a second there. Whoopsies. I mean to zoom all the way out there, but we're gonna zoom back in. Alrighty. This one, another one there. The social media video images shared by social media users. Looks like damages to home there, Colonial Boulevard on Orangewood Avenue there. Another tornado. Pictures of a large tornado near Brighton. So these are all towns and locations here that are getting impacted by the outer rain bands of Hurricane Milton. Some of these are trained spotters that are out reporting it back to the National Weather Service. There's another trained spotter. Tornado on the ground near I-95 and Southwest Becker Road moving north. Trees reported down. Moving towards Port St. Lucie on the east coast, southeast coast of Florida. There's another one. Emergency manager reports a confirmed tornado flipped the truck on Interstate 95 at mile marker 109. I'm going to zoom out here. I'm kind of curious as to what's going on up here. Oh, looks like we got some flooding along the river here. 5.1. This is up in the St. John's area, St. John's River, south of Jacksonville. 47 mile per hour wind gust, 1240 earlier today, all the way well north of Milton. These are all the lightning strikes. All right, so there's pictures of tornado. Over by Clewiston and Moorhaven earlier today. Looks like Alligator Alley. Kind of recognize the canal there. So I-75. Yep, that would be I-75 near Weston by the toll plaza. So I-75 near Weston by the toll plaza. There's another view of a tornado there. All right. So back to weather tap here, and another local storm report just came out, and this is at Naples Municipal Airport at the ASOS weather station there. Reported a 50-mile per hour wind gust, 11:53 this morning, with the tornado warned thunderstorm. Let me tell you what, when you look at these wobbles, look at that. It's trying to go north of the track a little bit there. So just your bearing there. I think I could draw on this. All right, let's do a measurement here. So if we say this is the eye wall to St. Petersburg under 100 miles. So it looks like just offshore Sarasota, 8 p.m. After that, it looks like landfall, like I said, probably coming in about 9 or 10. All right, let's see what else is going on here. Oh, that's a lot of lightning. Frequent lightning. All right, a little bit of go in uh, steady rainfall here. Let's look at some of the storm tracks. Flash flood warning. Let me pause this. See if it'll. All right, so just take a look a little bit more at these. Oh yeah, these cells. These cells are moving fast. We could kind of get an idea. Let's go back to Twitter here. See if that was the wedge tornado from earlier today. All right, one last thing before I take a break here. See if you guys can see that. Perfect. All right, NWS in Miami. Here's a view of all the tornado warnings that have been issued so far by the National Weather Service in Tampa Bay, Miami, and Melbourne. As of 3 p.m., 53 total tornado warnings have been issued. 41 of those have been issued by National Weather Service in Miami. All right, so I will be back in about an hour. It is getting closer to landfall, which should take place this evening or tonight. And we're going to continue to watch those wobbles to the north, to the left to see. But I think as of right now, uh, Sarasota is in the crosshairs to receive this for a direct hit. Maybe it could go a little bit north of that, a little bit south of that area, but I think we're starting to zero in on where Milton's going to make landfall. And then the latest, and I do believe they're running hourly updates. Perfect. We'll go to the homepage here. Okay, and as of the 3 p.m. advisory, movement is northeast at 16 miles per hour, pressure up to 948 millibars, max sustained winds 130 miles per hour at the center. All right, so continue to stay safe. Don't go out in this dangerous storm. And I'll be back in a little bit and give you more updates on what is now a Category 3, but still a very dangerous major hurricane, Milton.